Hello everybody, welcome to the show. My name is Michael Diot, Chairman for Horizon Interfaith Communication Media Council. Dr. Baranowsky did earlier today with Jean. Let's have a look at that.
Jean, I'm so happy to finally meet you. I understand that you've had a really significant trauma history and somehow you've found all sorts of ways to become resilient. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, well, I've had a lot of things happen in my life, and it started out with a lot of physical and emotional abuse as a child, and having a death of my brother at a very young age. And as other things happened throughout my young adult life, I had become very much locked myself away in my home, and throughout my married life I just was very depressed and had a nervous breakdown, and inside I was crying. I knew there was a better way to live. I just wanted to be able to go out and grocery shop and walk a dog or just do normal things that every other housewife seemed to be able to do. But I couldn't because I was so fearful.
Right. Do you get a sense of, why you were locking yourself away, why you were so fearful?
I was afraid to go out and to venture out in the world. I think it's because of a lot of the abuse I had to endure as a child. My self-confidence was taken from me. Any worthiness that I should have had was gone. It was taken from me. And I guess with all the abuse, I just felt small and unworthy to go out and just meet people. I was very intimidated of people.
Did you get a sense of, what would happen if you actually went out? Like, were there things particularly that you were worried about would happen if you went out there in the community?
I was afraid. I was afraid of people. I was afraid that they would yell at me or scream or just say, "What are you doing here?" I just had a lot of fear that people wouldn't accept me.
When we have a really significant trauma history, sometimes we can feel like what happened in the past is actually happening right now. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. I think, because I know many times when I would try to go out there, because I knew that I had to at least try, that fear would come over me and I would just get glazed and struggle with eternal shakenness, and just that wall would come down where I would just shut myself off from people.
But incredibly, here you are sitting here in a studio being filmed, so something must have happened to change that, right? But I think one of the things you're raising is something that happens to a lot of trauma survivors. They experience in this moment a kind of overwhelming fear that reminds them of what happened years ago when they were traumatized, or whether the trauma happened last week or many years ago. It can get reignited in this moment.
It sure can.
Yes, so you understand that very well. So you get that there are probably things that happen to you in those very fearful moments. What happens to you, like physically, emotionally, and in your thoughts when you get really afraid, like when you know that something from the past is getting reignited?
I can feel my body trembling, my heart racing. I can feel my body getting hot, and I can feel my mind glazing over as if I can hear somebody talking to me. But then this wall comes up, and then I can't hear what they're saying. It's like somebody talking through water. And I shake, and I get very warm, and I guess I'm shutting them out. I don't want to hear what they have to say because I'm afraid they are putting me down, or they're going to scream at me or just say I'm no good.
Right. Okay, so that's kind of part of your historical trauma, hearing those negative things from people, being abused emotionally, right?
Yes.
So this is I think you're capturing it really well. You're really helping me to hear what's happened to you, but I think you're really helping the viewers to understand that sometimes, even though nothing really is happening in this moment, the past can replay, and it can have a devastating effect.
Yes,
like for you, it kept you locked away for all these years, and you were lucky enough to find a way out of that.
Yes, I was.
So that's pretty amazing. But one of the things that you're talking about is really physiological arousal. And that's something that happens to all of us when we're in a dangerous situation. We definitely want that to happen, so it's a good thing that we know that your fight or flight mechanism is working. But when we're actually in a safe situation, just replaying in our mind a dangerous memory, it can really devastate us and hold us back from enjoying our life today, right?
Yes.
Now, you talked a little bit about being somebody who really couldn't do anything, and now you can do a lot of things. What was the turning point for you?
I think good counseling. I've had counseling in the past, but I think it's important to find a counselor that you can work with and that you trust and that you feel confident with. And then once you've found that and established that, listen to him and really do what he asks you to do. And just try to come out of your box and just try to meet life and just do what he asks you to do.
So you weren't able to do much before. Can you describe what life was before?
It got so bad that 3 years ago I had a nervous breakdown. One thing led to another throughout my childhood up into my adult life. And I guess all of the fears compacted on top of each other to the point where I just couldn't cope anymore. And I eventually had a nervous breakdown. And it was horrible. I couldn't go outside of the house. I couldn't cook. I couldn't focus to clean. I couldn't do anything.
How long did that go on for?
For about a year during the nervous breakdown.
But it sounds like your breakdown led to a breakthrough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You were able to do something that you weren't able to do before, which is get the help that you needed and get to a point where you were living in a new way, right? Do you have a sense that as a result of the counseling you got, that you were able to move through your changes slowly, or did it happen all at once for you?
It was slow. There was a lot of things to go through. It was a lifetime worth of fears and challenges. And he took me through them one by one, and I had made the decision with my faith to move through them one by one and just to go through them, not to stop in fear as I had always done in my past.
That's a really courageous story. You were able to do that and feel that you could move through. So you had a lot of trust in the person that you were working with.
Yes, I did.
So it's a good fit. That's an important thing as well, making sure that who you're working with is somebody you feel you can trust and who is helping you actually make some changes, right? Concrete, real things. And that's what we want to see in a good counselor as well. Definitely follow your instincts, right? So your instincts were saying, this is a good fit. I can trust this person.
Yes.
Very important piece, right, to remember?
It is.
Yeah, absolutely. And then as a result of going through this counseling and dealing with a lot of the traumatic history, what are you now able to do?
I'm able to go grocery shopping, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm able to go outside. I basically am holding down my first job.
Wow.
I'm in my mid-40s and I'm enjoying life. I'm working, I'm volunteering at my church, and I'm enjoying my husband, I'm enjoying my family, and I'm just enjoying life. It's such freedom to be able to come out of these fear issues.
This is a great story of resiliency. I'm so glad we had a chance to talk, and I just wish you the best on your journey going forward.
Thank you so much.
That's an amazing story and a great interview.